time to strap in and get ready. The leaders in NRL SuperCoach are incoming. Bringing you the ultimate insight to help you win your leagues and climb up the rankings. You're now listening to the Insight NRL Show with your hosts, Brain, Metrics, and Whisperer.
It's a Tigers celebration. As you can see on the screen, I got the Tigers jersey on. I don't know what Josh is wearing. It's a scarf, and
wheels are off, baby.
It didn't look like one.
Wheels are up.
It was a good day. It was a good day to be a Tigers fan. Obviously, when it's a while between drinks when we can put an actual score on a team, so that's nice. And we'll try and keep the Tigers propaganda to a minimum tonight, but we can't promise anything. So just bear with us. Bear with us while we get our excitement out on stream. But guys, let us know how you went this week. There's some big scores around the grounds. Josh, how'd you go this week, mate?
Held together by Kalen Ponga, thankfully. Last week it was the centre wings. This week it's Kalen Ponga. Just held together, but not too bad. A couple of injuries, couple of suspensions from some frauds. But overall, not too bad. I believe I'm probably around par. I think 1,300 is there or thereabouts. So I'm okay with it. I did loop, so I was stuck with Iongi in another world. You know, Captain Hines, who gets 86, and I play Sandon Smith. So I actually probably lost points on the loop in overall, but, you know, I'm taking, nearly 260 points every day of the week.
Oh, for sure. You cannot turn down a 124, and then he went up to a 129 after updates. I captain Cleary in the end and still got 1336. So I'm pretty happy with how my week was, considering I didn't get the best captain. Even though I had Ponga in my team, I went VC Turbo in to see Cleary, and obviously, yeah, I'll take an 80. I'm not complaining about an 80 as a captain, but yeah, it could have been better. So there are some players though, mate, that we've got to talk about tonight that might be on the chopping block, not because they underperform, but because they might be carrying a niggle or two that maybe won't be playing next week. So we'll have a chat about where our heads are at leading into next week. But of course, we'll be talking about the games this weekend, mate. We've got some big scores in the chat too. Mr. McGruff here, 14-19. Very big score there. We've got Jake Lindsay with a 1,300 on par. Jamie Camilleri with a 13-19. Chase with a 1,300. Real Keefe with a 13-13. You know how it goes, Josh. You don't talk about your score when you have a bad one. You just make sure you put your score in the chat when you've done well.
Of course not. But shout out to nqcowboys.news on Instagram, who told me he got a 994. So I respect that. I respect that more than people that post they got 1,500. So shout out to him.
Props.
To be fair, I added a new column of like delete app, which was 1,050 this week, and he's gone well under that. So maybe the phone's just been traded back into Optus. You know, he's just app's not even deleted. It's just the phone's gone back to a flip phone.
You shared a photo on social media this week about a guy who messaged you, hit your DMs up, and he goes, "Hey, if Reece Walsh is my captain, do I get my vice captain's double points?" Pour one out for that guy.
Shout out to Dom. Dom's a good friend of mine, like outside of SuperCoach, and he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, hypothetically, if I captained Walsh, what happens? Like, whoever your lowest scoring player is, he's your captain. Unfortunately, not even your VC, which is brutal. But
no, that's rude. Tough. There are some big scores around the grounds though. 1334 for me. I got I've given myself an extra 2 points there. Don't mind me. Matrix, who won't be on tonight, unfortunately. He is away living the dream as he always does. So he's away for a week.
Very convenient that he has one, his Broncos lost, but two, he has the lowest score out of the three of us. So
yes.
Some fraud allegations may be coming his way.
1280, I think it is pre-update. So look, he definitely is still leading the total points between the three of us.
He's not like a 1,200 type score.
Yeah. No. He's definitely not underperforming. That's for sure. But I'll take the crown this week. Matrix can be in the shitter for the week, and you know what? Perfect timing because he's away all week, so he doesn't have to listen to us. We're going to have to just double down and hopefully have another good week ahead of us for round 3, Josh, so that he can have 2 weeks in the shitter and have to cop it from us when he gets back.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Let's chat games, mate. Knights Dolphins 26-12 to start things off on the Thursday evening. Obviously, this is where the VC came from. The old never VC on a Thursday night has been overturned for 2025 so far. Kalen Ponga 129 looked $1 million, looked like he wanted to be in everything. And we saw even the game against the Tigers in round 1, he had 51 touches, which is about 11 or 12 more than your standard fullback in a game. And he's probably gone near that, if not more, I reckon, in this game with the amount of times he got his hands on the ball in this one.
Yeah, I mean, 104 points at halftime. He was just running amok. Like it's everything we want. We want KP to be in more. He's unbelievable. Like he generally just is incredible. Knights took their foot off the gas a little bit in the second half, which was frustrating. And I guess for people that didn't VC or even own or VC or whatever, like you've probably got to be a little bit fortunate here that it could have got a lot worse. But 129 from him. That left continues to hum. We see the top 4 scores from this are all left side players in Ponga, Best, Lucas, and Marzu. They're just humming, man. They're like even Fletcher Sharp, 82, back-to-back good scores from him in a side. Like even last week, they didn't score too many points against the defensive juggernaut that is the West Tigers, as we saw today. But the Knights are good, man. Like from a SuperCoach standpoint, they're looking very good. The question isn't do we buy Marzu? It's just do we buy him next week or do we just pay the extra 100K in round 5 and just know that we're getting a keeper, but we have to pay 100K more.
Yeah, that's the. I think this is the $1 million question for nearly 10, 15 players next week. Like we've only got 3 trades max. I think it's fair to say most people will boost next week if they have saved a trade in week 1. I'm more than happy to pull a boost personally, but the question becomes who are we going to jump on for all these cash gen rises? Like we've got Jesse Arthurs as well, who's probably going to have like a negative 70 or 80 break even next week. So like there's a lot of options. Do you go with the guy like Marju, who you can plug and play for not only points but big cash, who's probably underpriced at this point? Or do you go for those cheaper guys like the Arthurs? Shibasaki didn't perform really well this week, but there's a few other guys at centre wing, Tamale potentially. Like there's a lot of guys right for the picking in round 3 that we're going to have to make a decision on who to go with and who to pass next week.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Marzu. It's between him and probably another player as well. Like we'll touch on them at the end of the round, but Marju's got approximately -5 break even next week. So if he scores 70, he's probably going to go up about 90, 80, 85K. So it's like
that -5 was also pre-updates. He went up 8 because of offloads.
Yeah,
so there's every chance it's negative 15.
Jay Schubert had a -2, and I've chucked on like a little bit of mayo to make it -5. That's the thing. It's like you're paying it. If there was no buy, it's a clear cut. We grab him, but with the buy in round 4, it's like, oh, like where does this go? But then it's like the draw gets pretty immaculate for the Knights as well. I'm torn, and I'll probably have to have a couple of days to think on it. But he's looking unreal, even without like attack. He scored 1 try in 2 weeks, and he's putting up ridiculous numbers. And if Bradman Best knew how to throw a decent ball, I'm very lucky that Bradman Best has butchered him a couple of times.
Yeah, speaking of being butchered by Bradman Best, it was last week when we were at the Tigers game, and there was probably 3 or 4 balls that went behind him. Either he overran them or it was a poor pass. So he could honestly be averaging 100, I think, over the first 2 rounds if things went his way. And obviously the Knights have looked a little bit clunky at times as well. So yeah, they're definitely not a well-oiled machine by any means, and the round 4 bye just muddies things a little bit. But Adam Elliott came back with a 70, mate. You'd be pretty happy as the president of the Adam Elliott fan club. So that's always good for him. Kai Pearce-Paul, though, mate, he is going to be suspended for 2 weeks for his hit. So 46 for him as well. Cop the sin bin. Probably should have been a 60 to be fair if he stayed on the field and didn't cop those negatives. So would have been okay, but he's probably a trade out now, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm definitely. If you tell me you got 46 with a sin bin, I'll like snap your hand off. But obviously that's a pretty fraudulent 46. Had the line break assist, and the try assist for that sort of tip on. So look, I'll take it. Like I'll take the 46 points and just get out of there. The experiment didn't work. He was always going to be a placeholder until ideally the end of next week, but we're gonna have to go a week early on him, and that it's annoying because of Turbo that we'll talk about soon. But yeah, KPP gone. Good to see Adam Elliott there. Millie was in attendance, interviewed him. That was pretty wholesome to see them on TV together. Apart from that, mate, not a whole lot here to really chat about. That's really it. Crosland sort of came back down to earth a little bit. Still the split there with Brayley. So off those 2 completely. As for the Dolphins, mate, 2024 preseason Colt hero, Isaiah Katoa with 86. Shout out to him. But apart from that, mate, not a whole lot. This is
why you don't go early, right? This is why when you're looking at, you see a big game from Tom Gilbert, you see a 63 or whatever it was with 44 tackles and a ton of runs and a game that went up the middle. This game he had 47. Back down to no. I don't think he's going to average 47 by any means. I think this was an unders game for him, but I think we're probably seeing something between what he scored in round 1 and round 2 as his average for the season.
I think base just reverted back to the mean. Like I think this is a very, very good BP number. I think he'll average 53, 54 because you'll throw in some attack every now and then, but yeah, for 47, I think that's sort of about where we're at. So it's good to see the mean comes back. Asako 39, that was frustrating. Like he was wide open with about 2 minutes to go, and he scores that. It's an 80-point game from him. So for me, it's frustrating. But if you're telling me my center wing, my goal kicking center wing in a side that scored 2 tries is scoring 40 points, like I'll take that. Like if that's the worst we're getting from him, then amazing. Hamiso 30 points, rough night for him as well. But overall, Dolphins don't look great. They should have beaten the Bunnies last week, and they had a good chance to win this week, and just didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right, 100%. But obviously the Knights draw is still looking nice. I think I'd probably just hold off on the majority. Marju's the only guy I'd probably buy, I think.
Sorry, I've just opened the Warriors game. I didn't realize updates had come in. I didn't see the old 18-pointer coming in from Mr.
absolutely.
Warriors,
and you know what?
Oh, sorry. You go.
No, I was just going to say it's a shame that Matrix isn't here because, he is the Luke Metcalf guy. 2 years ago, he was on Luke Metcalf, and he should be able to enjoy this with us. Maybe he's in the chat. He asked me when the stream was. Hopefully, he's in the chat or he's around somewhere.
I am glad he's not here though, because I'm pretty sure I did say on Wednesday that if he got 80, I would personally fund the copyrights for Jesus Walks from Kanye West. I'm awfully glad he's not here because that wouldn't have been cheap. So, but no, Warriors 36, 16 Sea Eagles. I thought this was going to be a humping from the Sea Eagles and a bad day to be a non-turbo VCer after the first 5 minutes. But, mate, Luke Metcalf, what a guy. Sold him in DT, sold him in fantasy, but let's not talk about that. Ryan Hammond in the chat, Matrix told us that he had to die first before he was resurrected. I think, didn't I say that? Didn't I make the Jesus Easter Sunday? I think I'm going to get cancelled for bringing religion into this. But no, Jesus has to die before he's resurrected. But I think it just goes to show you that, we don't try not to put too much emphasis on small data samples. Like, we knew that he was playing a halfback. We knew he was goal kicking. Look, a lot of variables happen outside of the field to affect the player. Traveling to Vegas, bright lights, biggest crowd Metcalf will ever play in front of and ever play in front of in terms of a national and international audience. And it just showed you he was just exceptional in this game.
Oh, he was fantastic. And that's probably, again, we're talking about a guy who over round 1 and round 2, it was a shitter and an absolute cracker. So somewhere in the middle is where we're going to lie this year. And I think we're probably looking at anywhere between 50 to 60 points per game. And I think that's fine. I think it probably just maybe vindicated us a little bit for holding. We've said all week we were holding for the most part. And it's nice to be able to get those points. And to be fair, even if you held and didn't play, I think you still win. Because not only... It is frustrating for sure, but you're still you're going to get this cash gen. That first score is the first score to drop out of the rolling average. So it's the least important when it comes to cash gen over the year. So you're now going to have a little bit of money to make over the next few weeks. And hopefully now what we've seen from him this week is a little bit more of what we're going to get moving forward each week. Tane Tuapiki, 89 was solid. Wade Egan, 110. Look, I don't know where this comes from,
with the 110.
Look, I don't really even have much comment on this because I just feel like he doesn't do much and he just scores points. And obviously, he scored a try, and that's where that came from for the most part. But yeah, look for me, I'm not going out of my way to buy him.
I've got one follower that messaged me in the preseason. I was like, I want to start with Wigan. And I was like, not a chance. And now he was very vocal in the DMs this week, and rightfully so. Go off, King. I respect that. Yep. Tane Tuapiki, I thought Fisher Harris's first stint was exceptional. He played 35 minutes and was absolutely world class. Looks like him and Barnett are playing big minutes, so RIP to Halasima and Dimitrik. We'll touch on those soon. But yeah, Fisher Harris was unreal. Your boy Ali Leotau, I think we spoke about him on Wednesday, and this is a very gloat session by the two of us because a lot of these guys came up in the Patreon Q&A that we were just look, you've picked high volatile players. They're not going to get returns every week, but when they do, it's going to be worthwhile. So it must be nice for you to see Ali crash over and look like preseason Ali. Yeah,
it's probably what I'm more so expected of him, obviously, but that's why I buy him, because he can crash over like that in situations like that. And when you put the 75 and the 33 together, it's 108 points, and that's a 54 average, which is what I bought, So I'm completely fine with that. He's a hold now for me for at least the short term. And I guess moving forward, we can take a breath on a lot of these Warriors guys, and we should get the man that talks about Jesus Walks in. Here he is. How are you, mate?
Oh, just in my element.
I can imagine. So when Luke Metcalf obviously finished his game, he finished on 117, you'd be pretty happy. And I'd imagine you'd be, telling your mates How you told everybody to hold and how you've been on this guy for 2 years?
Oh, I mean, like, you know me, and like, I'm such a humble guy. Like, I didn't let anyone know of it, like, for that reason. But, like, look, let's know that, like, on the inside, I was elated.
I can imagine you would have been very happy. Do you? So that, and also, there's an even more question, very relevant question in the chat from Mr. Ryan Hammond, who wants to know who's drinking for Matrix because you owe him a standard squeeze shot. Do you have a drink on you at the moment? Because it looks like you've had about 13.
Oh, look, I can go get one. Like, a couple of guys were ordering them, and I was, and I went to the little boys' room just to call you guys. Hey, you're welcome.
Thank you.
But yeah, look, I can drink one. I've had plenty.
I bet you can. I bet you can.
We can tell. We can tell.
It's 10:47 where I am. It's not 7:30.
Yeah, and he's got the sheepskin on as well. McGruff is letting us know in the chat he's a fan of the sheepskin.
You're an NZ. I do forget that.
Yeah. It's a long way. It was a long day today. Oh, Dick's out for Piastri. Like, that's all I've got to say.
I'm so
he
off.
was my
F1.
captain in
I'm so
F1
off
fantasy.
F1 fantasy. I don't know why you wrote me into playing it. I fucking hate that sport.
It's great.
Well, I got minus points. How do you like? I got minus points in my F1 fantasy team. I don't understand how I picked 7 people and I combined for less than 0 points.
I'm on 67, so you're doing okay. You're only 68 points away from me.
Mate, it's about 17 weeks. Do you have anything else to add on Luke Metcalf and he's the reason why you're in New Zealand, obviously, as we know.
Yeah, Luke Metcalf. I'll just come over to sniff his undies. So.
Yeah, just before we let you go, mate, Jamie Camilleri just wants to know how Reece Walsh went this weekend. I didn't get to watch the game, so do you have any roundups for us?
Yeah, I do. Still a better hold than Turbo this week. And can I tell you what? Like, Reece Walsh might turn into a little bit of a pod, like, from his performance this week. Like, you've got him, and you've got him because he can score 90s. You've got him because he can score.
Was it a good week to own Walsh and Iongi?
I don't own Iongi, so I
can't.
No,
but imagine if you just own both of them, bro. Like, imagine you own them and Turbo. How good?
I can't. I'm not that silly. But if you own Reece Walsh, Turbo, and Kalen Ponga, maybe you could get around selling one of them for Iongi, maybe.
Is that you speaking in your situation?
No, sorry. A friend and fan of the show messaged me and said, "This is my situation. Can I do this?" Yeah, his name was Matrix.
His name was Natrix.
Yeah, good.
The SC Natrix.
Yeah, that's him.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna let you enjoy your show.
Have fun, mate.
Just remember, Jesus walks.
Jesus walks.
God, give me a sign and let me know it's time to make my move.
See you, mate. He had fun. Who's drinking for him this week? I'll do it because I've got a standard squeeze here with a little bit of bourbon in the bottom of it. So I'll take one for the team.
I think Maddie's done enough for a few people.
Oh, he looks like he's had some fucking red hot fun in New Zealand. Good on him.
Warriors, RTS 64. Saw some discourse in our WhatsApp chat about some people being unhappy. Look, I think 64. Like, yeah, you got bailed out with a late try, but not every score is as sexy as Marzu's. Like, it's not as smooth sailing as that. Like, center wings come in all shapes and sizes, and the scores are going to be in different, increments. So, I mean, you take 64 for him. He's averaging that throughout the season. So, unreal. Aaron Clark, 52. Happy with that if you owned. Unreal. So, got to scroll all the way down to the bottom, mate, to see one Dimitri Vamalga, 18 points. I think his saving grace might be the fact that the old jet ski might be dead. So I don't think you trade Dimitri. I don't think you trade Dimitri to another cheapie to RF. It's either Tamale or you pay up for like an Arthur's, something like that.
Yeah, hopefully you've got the dual center wing that you can fuck around with up and down. So that'll create a bit of flexibility there.
This is where the value lies, like
the value lies at center wing. That's absolutely for sure.
I tried to tell you.
Yes. No, but I mean, I'm happy with the fact that I said that Vamalga was a sell. It just looks like, unfortunately, he's at the bottom of the pecking order in this rotation, and sadly, there are a lot of big minute guys in this rotation, this forward rotation as well. Like that, they all demand big minutes, and I just don't think the minutes are there for him. Even if he gets 25, is it enough at the price? I don't know. And the problem now becomes, we also talked about not going early, right, and not making trades last week, and then Lachlan Hubner now gets 2 weeks suspended. So this is exactly why you don't go early, because if you went Vamalga to Hubner, yeah, you're probably better off, but I doubt you played Hubner.
No.
And you're not going to get cash until round 5.
If you played Hubner, then absolutely fine. But this is why I don't like going cheapies a week early. Before we move on to the next game, my phone's lighting up. People are commenting on my how'd you score post every Sunday night. It's great. I just want to give a big shout out to Lisa Bryant, who said she's deleting the app. She had Tedesco last week, sold him for Reece Walsh this week.
Oh no.
Sorry, Lisa.
Oh.
It's tough out there. Moving on.
Oh shit! We haven't even talked about Manly, mate.
Fucking hell. Moving on to the Eagles. Is Jason Saab just the great? Obviously, he's the biggest fate of all time now. But rounds 1 to 2, Jason Saab, I don't think we'll ever forget.
No. Rounds 1 to 2, Jason Saab nearly every year are peak. I don't know. Name the best winger of all time. For me, 100 he's gotten 200s back to back in a game where they got flogged.
4 line breaks and 2 try assists this game, and 2 tries.
I mean, look, Xavier Savage did it to the Warriors last week. It might be a theme moving forward is that right winger, you just target him every week because it seems like that's the way that teams are going to go. They're just going to go against that RTS wing. Not necessarily because of RTS as a poor defensive player, but just maybe he doesn't trust his guys inside him in Pompey and Chanel Harris-Speeder.
Loves a jam.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly. But anyway.
He got 114. I'm absolutely not buying him.
No, not a chance.
I mean, DCE and Travojevic are fine, but that didn't look great. Lee Hopper, White 66, Turbo 59. We'll touch on him soon. Garrett with a 54, and that's really about it. Hamole Olakoatu, 44. Seems like everyone that was chirping me last week has gone awfully quiet on Hamole Olakoatu. I don't know why. It's a bit weird. Maybe they've got no reception this week, but nothing to do with his score. Apart from that, mate, whole lot of shit. No, Telstra outage. A whole lot of shit. Chom Travojevic, 59. Now, was sent for scans. Scans come back fine. He's a chance to be named this week. I don't give a fuck.
Fine.
It's the last game of the round. Turbo is obviously not fine. I cannot sell him fast enough.
Oh, okay. He gets named, right? Last game of the round.
Last game of the round, man. You will have some serious bad thoughts and some. You'll be on Lifeline.
Who are they playing?
I don't know. I don't care. I'm telling you what. You will never ever sweat a fucking 24-hour cut or a 60-minute cut more than next week with Turbo.
I was looking at who they're playing more so because I was like, oh, maybe I can just pivot to whoever the fullback is there. And I'm not buying KO Weeks. Let me give you the red hot tip. Manly play the Raiders in the last game of the week, which couldn't be a worse matchup really for pivoting from a trade. Look, I mean, the question becomes, can you hold him for a week if he's out for a week? Or is it more a matter of paper mache hammies? If we're seeing a soft tissue injury before fucking 120 minutes into the season for Turbo, is this maybe now creating a narrative where we're going to start to see more of these over the season and it's just best to get off now?
What do you do? If the minute he feels something at the 50th minute mark, he might feel something every week. I'm just I can't take that risk. Corey, we'll touch on him. I'm less keen now after the news. Holding Turbo has the Eels the week after next. I'm risking. I mean, I can absolutely understand it. We saw the greatest Fijian fullback of all time in Jareen Buller. I don't even think it's Fijian, but just Buller saying hello. But just ripped him apart today. So I can understand the whole. But it's just it's the runs on the board with Turbo. It's the continual soft tissue injuries. It's the continual coming off, and it's I don't see how you feel something come off, have scans that say you're fine, and then come back and then you're meant to be good to go next week. If they played Thursday night, very different story.
For sure.
I'm happy to hold because I get a clearer idea. But they're playing the last game of the round, and it's just absolutely head noise central for me. I don't want that stress. So for me, normally we put our trades in the WhatsApp. I'm going to be very open. Turbo is gone. Unless something major happens, like half my team has polio, Turbo's just gone.
Shout out to polio. It's actually been an outbreak in the NRL this year because I reckon about 7 players have had polio in the last week.
It's always a good one to fall back on. But let's move on to the Panthers Roosters. This one made me a very, very rich man. Had way too much money on the Roosters plus 24
on the handicap.
So
love that.
Shout out to them. But Panthers, mate. Paul Alamonte, 84, unreal. Nathan Cleary, 80. Now, I caused some discourse on social media, as I tend to do. I believe I said Cleary faders have won. And then there was a lot of copium. But you weren't a fader. Do you think I am in a better position not having Cleary?
Okay, you saved 100K. What's the price difference for, 150K between Nico and Cleary? Is that right?
Like 140.
What did Nico score? 50 in round one. What did Cleary score?
63, 64.
Okay, so you're fuck yeah. I think you win. I think you're ahead. I think Nico.
It's not the Nico thing. It's the narratives. As I keep saying, if you watch that Vegas game without the scores, Cleary scores 120, 130.
Yeah.
And then if you said the Roosters looked fucking dog shit and the Broncos put 50 on them and the Panthers are 24.5 point favorites and Cleary is averaging 70 for the first 2 weeks, mate, I'm snapping your hand off with that. I'm over the moon with it. In saying that, I can't go many more weeks not owning the guy. It's not good for my mental health.
Yeah, look, I think you need to buy him by round 4, maybe. But I think if you started with Nico over Cleary, I think you're in a better position now than you would be at the end of round 2 if you went the other way around.
Unless you bought some lock fraud from Parramatta and some fucking bloke on edge from the Bulldogs that decides to stop
Don't. That's a sore point, man. That's still really fucking painful for me right now. Yeah, me too.
We'll touch on it. But look, no, I'm definitely finding money to get Cleary in round 4. I will be very transparent with that.
Sorry, there's only 76K difference. So, look, 15 points in round 1 means you're behind in round 1 and you're ahead. Like, you're probably ahead in round 2, considering Nico got 81 and Cleary got 80. So
I think it also factors into like people probably captain Cleary this week, and most people. Well, I mean, myself, I went Ponga, but I can't speak for everyone. But I'm very happy. I guess overall, I'm happy to not own Cleary right now. I'm happy to fade him one more week against Melbourne. After that. Not a chance. I can't do it.
Joey Manu fan wants to know what I'm doing with Hopgood. If I didn't have so many other fires to put out, I'd be moving him on very quickly. That Parramatta side looks very ordinary. I don't know how many actual base stats we can rely on when they're standing at the post for 30 minutes a game. And when you look at,
have you seen the meme of the supercar in the rundown house?
Yes,
that's just Hopgood at Parramatta.
Yeah, it's like a Ferrari in a fucking carport. And actually, I won't throw any shade to suburbs in Sydney. But yeah, look, I'm fine to hold Cleary, and I think he's the better option. Yeah, that's the one. Yep,
that's just Hopgood at Parramatta.
Bugatti, a $2 million Bugatti. Love it. I still feel fine holding Cleary. Would I go out? I guess the question becomes, everybody's going to break their teams apart to try and get Cleary in if you're not a Cleary owner, but I am not going to break my team apart to get Nico in. That's the question. That's, whether you're going to use that extra trade.
For me, it's like, I'll give Nico another week. I don't know who I think they play someone pretty rubbish next week, which is good.
Sounds about right.
They may be playing the Eels.
They got the Rabbitohs.
Oh, the Rabbitohs
on Saturday. Yeah, that's a day game too.
Oh, mate. But no, I'll happily own Hines for one more week, and then I'll assess. I'll assess. If I still have Hopgood, then I can, if I've got some money in the bank, I can go Hopgood to Cleary via a potential front row forward to from the Gold Coast Titans. I may be looking at buying next week, and then stashing him in the flex for a week or two. But yeah, there's ways to get Cleary if I opt to do hold Hines, or I can just find the extra. It probably wouldn't even be that much difference with break evens in 2 weeks' time. So yeah,
probably not.
Anyway,
no.
Panthers,
Casey McLean.
Panthers were dog shit. Casey McLean bailed out at the end. Fucking owners.
Yes, and we love it because he was on my hold list. So far, I'm 2 from 2. I did say to buy Hamoli Olakawatu, so that's an L. So 2 from 3. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But anybody thinking about moving on Casey McLean this week was out of their mind.
What do you get? 45 BP? That's fine.
Yeah, and he's priced at that. He's priced at his BP. So any attacking stats are now a bonus. So I think he's definitely a hold. If you still have him, just enjoy it for a bit. But otherwise, mate, talk to me about Isaiah Yo's 41, because that could be the lowest.
The worst score I've ever seen from Isaiah Yo in a non-injury affected game ever.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So
he was.
good because his price dropped for us.
Brian To'o scored 34 with a fucking try. Can we talk about the fall off, the SuperCoach fall off of Brian To'o? It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even want to because it makes me sad. So I don't want to talk about the fall off of Brian To'o, to be honest. Let's talk about, what's more fun, talking about the fall off of Isaac Tungo, because he's supposed to be better with Cleary, and he's not better with Cleary. He's just not good anymore.
Yeah, no, he's terrible. Let's talk about Daniel Aman Talks Tupu, because they both look The exact fucking same. They're spitting images of each other. I always tell him on that he looks. I'm like, oh, good game on the weekend, mate. 119 from him. He does this. He just goes through peaks and valleys. But 119 from Teddy, mate. We said that if he wants to have any kind of relevance this year, he needs to put the chooks on his fucking back. And boy, he did that on the weekend.
100% he did. And obviously, look, we're not going to buy him at this point. I was really hoping he'd tank, and I love Teddy as a player. 145 break even this week. He didn't meet that. He'll lose cash.
A little bit.
He's not going to lose anywhere near as much cash as I would like, because he is going to be the most owned fullback in SuperCoach come round 12 or 11 before the buys kick in and Roosters play all three majors. So sadly, we're not going to get him as cheap as we wanted. But again, he's a quality player. So can't argue against buying him. But I mean, look, Connor Watson's probably the big talking point in this game, mate, because I now, seeing how much they use Zach Docker-Clay, I think I'm pretty interested in Connor Watson playing more 13 minutes than 9 minutes. That's probably what we wanted to see. We knew that Connor Watson was a gun at 13 and his scoring was suppressed somewhat at 9. So now that maybe there's a flip there, I think he could be a genuine target next week.
Yeah, old hot boy Con Watt had 2 tries, so 34 and a line break. So 44 points in attack. So it's not like slam dunk. It's not like he is the be all end all. But if Docker Clay's playing more 9, then obviously he's going to be playing more 13, which is great. I'm still tempted. It's not like a slam dunk pick, but yeah, 44 points in attack. So that's what, 64 BP, which is like, yeah, pretty good. And I'll take that for a guy that's 580 and has the attacking upside that we've seen and can cover if anything happens at halfback and we have to trade out Sandon Smith, or for me, if Harry Grant just dies tomorrow, then I've got cover to put up Connor Watson. Mark Nwangnitawaze, he was unreal. I thought he was very, very good. He played very, very good. Handled his matchup quite well. 86 points from him. My Sandon Smith is highlighted grey, which is not good because he was my starting hooker this week.
Look, mine is too.
His finest Danny Levi impression.
Yeah, except Danny Levi would need to score 4 tries to score 76, to be fair. So 76 is great for Sandon Smith, and he's gone 50-odd and 50 exactly and 76. Like, he's going to have a very nice break even next week. So, great. Everyone owns him, so it's not an issue. He's the most owned player in the game. So it's a shame that we didn't get to play him when he actually scored those points, because I'm not sure where they come from after this. But yeah, not bad. What do you think of Naf White, mate? Because for me, he looked good. Like, I feel like if the minutes are there for Naf White, he can make you 100K. It's more a matter of what this rotation looks like with Spencer Leniu back next week for me.
Yeah, that's it for me. Like, the break even will be good enough to give it a week. Whether I play him or not, it's a different story. I ended up with the news that Lindsay Collins was out. I ended up opting to play him over Tamale. It cost me 4 points, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, very curious to see what it looks like next week. Probably won't play him. I do get Harry Grant back, and I don't have any Dragons, so I should have a full squad to choose from next week for me. And Naf White probably doesn't cut it, but yeah. Can we start playing Santa with confidence? Hamo? No. Yeah, no. Like, in pinch weeks, if you own Damien Cook next week, like, you're happy to play him. If you own Riley Smith, then you're pretty happy to play in the round after. But like, it's not a guy that I'm planning to have as hook one, running like run or die. Like, he still was very awful the week before. Was good. Had the 17-point bailout sort of at the end, so it takes him down to what, like high 50s, which is still great, but it's not a guy that I'm confident playing. And he only scored 38 points. So he only scored 76 points in a Rooster side that scored 38. So he's goal kicking a fair bit. I just think if the attack doesn't come, then he's scoring like 35, 40.
Which is fine at his price. But yeah, I guess he's probably going to move on in 4 to 5 weeks. I don't feel good playing him at all, personally. But
yeah.
Robert Toya, 43 against Penrith. I think you take that and run.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
Yeah.
I want to highlight Angus Crichton, 66 with 100 break even. Mm-hmm. He was excellent on the game on the night. Handled Liam Martin, which is probably the toughest edge matchup that you're going to have, attack and defense, because Liam's going to run brilliant lines, but also just ram the shit out of you in defense as well. And the Chad threw a hospital ball to our boy Naf White, and Liam Martin fucking killed him.
Minced him. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Chad just said, "Here it is. Throw it high." And Liam Martin just said, I am going to murder you. And he did. But shout out to Angus Crichton. He's a guy that's probably going to bottom out, say, like low sixes. So, yeah, definitely keen to jump on at that time. Shout out Makahisi Makatoa. Didn't realize he played for the Roosters. So he has the best Instagram handle in rugby league. It's Makahisi McDonald's. So, yeah, shout out to him.
Love that. All right, let's move on to the first game on Saturday. I was an ex-golf for this one, mate, so I'm going to lean on you a little bit if you watch the game. But Rabbitohs 25 with a Humphreys field goal versus the Dragons 24. I did catch it. It was on the TV at ex-golf, so I did watch bits and pieces of it. And talk to me about this. I want to know before we talk about Clint Gutherson, because he's the obvious conversation. Is there any more information around Christian Tuipulotu's try celebrations with the money thing? Is he just asking for more cash from the coaching staff?
I just think we need to check your sports bet account. Couple of Christian Tuipulotu anytime try score bets there. I do just want to go back to the Panthers Chooks game really quickly. Shout out to one William Smith in Reggie's. Went 1 try, 13 runs, 133 run meters, 9 tackle busts, a line break assist, 4 offloads, 90% tackle efficiency. So shout out to old Billy Smith. He was great. I think it's a case of when, not if, he comes back, and just hope he can stay injury free.
I saw someone in the chat saying Billy Smith might not make it into the team. I disagree. I think here we go. Haggy said, I don't think Billy Smith gets back in the side. I think Nwagana Tawaze drops straight out for Billy Smith when the time comes.
Rugby league's a fucking funny game. 7 days ago, Roosters fans wanted Dom Young hung and executed in front of Bondi Junction, Westfield's and now all of a sudden it's no, we can't change the side. But I get it. You just had an absolutely unreal win.
Sure.
But I think 100%. Billy Smith, he'll find his way there. It'll be a couple of weeks. Robbo will probably give him some cup reps, and Robbo, loves him. So it'll be a case of when, not if. But yeah, moving into the Rabbitohs, you said, did I watch this game? I was probably watching Jamie Humphreys, just watching him in general, just heartthrob. Mate, I sent a photo of him topless to my old man and said, this is the South halfback. And he just said, what the fuck? That should be like an edge player. He is a thick boy and he is a unit. 24-25, Gutho with a 146. Is it Gutherino season after the bye? Genuinely?
Oh, you know what? If you ask me this question and we ran a draft podcast, every year is Gutherino season. But not only because I actually don't like him as a player at all. I really dislike Gutho as a player. There's one player. Everybody has that player that they just really don't like. For me, it's Gutho. But in saying that, I think if he went to the Tigers, much like Jerome Luai, he'd probably be one of my favorite players because he's just that guy you love to hate as an opposition player. And
he's a guy that everyone says, oh, he's fucking shit. He's a wanker. But if he signed for your club, you'd be like, oh, fuck yeah.
Absolutely. I'd be stoked. It's absolutely. I mean, obviously, Tigers have Buller, so he's not better. Buller's better than Gutho. But in saying that,
Jake Lindsay just wants to highlight that you look like Gutho. So
yeah, but I have hair. Actually, you know what? To be fair, I've been going a bit thin on top, so I've been like, fuck it, I'm just going to try some stuff with my hair.
Gutho's entered his villain era when he's fucking shaved it off.
He has, and he's got the thick beard, the goatee going on.
He's actually kind of vibey. But is it Gutho's season after the bye?
Yes. I think so.
Actually,
I reckon it is. He is going to make a lot of cash.
Yeah,
he could nearly have a negative break even at that. At
25 break even this week. Now with a 146, yeah, it'll be like minus 50, minus 60.
20, minus 30.
I'll see what Jay tweeted. And whilst you're stalling for time, I can try and get an approximate break even. But I think,
let's bring up the draw on the screen then, and let's have a look at the Dragons draw because that'll probably determine what we're looking at. The Dragons, where are they? Right at the top there. They've got the bye. They've got Melbourne straight after the bye, so that's not lovely. But then they've got Parramatta, Gold Coast round 5-6. It's going to be hard to say no to Gutho in round 5.
Minus 39 break even before updates. I know we went up about fucking 10 points. So let's say minus 45 break even for a guy that's 670K.
I mean, look, Pappy is going to be very well bought next week. Yeah. And he's around the same price point as Pappenhausen. If he can wait a week, the problem is you can't really wait a week on Turbo playing the last game of the week. You're going to make a decision right now.
And I feel like
people are going to miss him.
Sell Turbo, you just run with it.
Probably.
I do love Dragons fans on Twitter have already turned on Flano. So that's good to see.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome. It's nice when Fox aren't talking about Tigers. That's all I love. I don't care about anything else. But
sorry, Dragons
look,
fans. We'll take joy in anyone that's fucking getting peppered, but us, because we've copped it for 20 years. So
and we're still copping it. How about like all the journos coming out saying that fucking Luai and Galvin have been linked to the Eels now? As soon as Dylan Brown
just signed a 5-year contract.
Oh, it's wild, man.
Insane.
Absolutely wild. Yeah,
Insane.
poor journalism. But anyway.
And, if Galvin leaves, I'll be heartbroken. But Flano with a 72. I'll T. Couchman. I'm pretty keen to get him in. Don't know how. But for 483, he's put up back-to-back 60s. So, yeah, really keen on that. Hamish Stewart, tell you what, if he gets dropped, it's going to be fucking tough being here, man. Like, he was unreal for both weeks.
Look, who's going to get dropped instead of him? I'm just looking at
Laurie. Has to be Laurie, surely.
Like, he was picked over Laurie to start the year. So I'm really hoping that kind of would flow on and we see that Stewart holds his spot, Laurie drops back out. But look, you just never know what Shane Flano is going to do. But also maybe this is a really good opportunity for Flano to send a message to a few players who are on the chopping block potentially and name a very different side in round 4, considering he said, I'd hate to be any of my players for the next 10 to 12 days. Basically saying you guys are all going to get flogged at training.
I love that. I also loved Madge saying that the boys going to be wearing 2 shirts at training, because in the preseason he said that the shirts on is now a rule. Because there was so much like topless training last year. So now he's like, the boys are wearing 2 shirts. I can respect that.
Yeah, the Madge. Yeah, that was very good. That was funny. From was it Casual Athlete that posted that, I think, from memory? It was Longy that posted that, because that was a fake quote.
Yeah,
Madge, he said, probably. Madge probably.
I rate that because of the boys with the topless in the preseason. But yeah, can respect that. That's then. Damien Cook sucks. Val is sure. Let's move on to the bunnies. Mamazelles played 80. I'm pretty sure. I haven't checked a minutes rotation, but I think he played 80. So is it wheels up Memo? I think people are looking at Mamazelles or Starling for a Duffy.
Starling's my pick.
Starling's your pick. It's interesting because we know that the South Straw turns pretty yucky next week.
Yes, and that's probably off the back of a Humphreys conversation we were having earlier about whether we get Humphreys next week. And fuck, I'd still think I could buy him. If you're a fantasy or a dream team player and watching this right now, he needs to be in your team next week. I don't care. Like 700 kick meters is just the easiest 35 points you'll make.
I think currently he's the halfback 1 in fantasy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. He's been a jet and he's goal kicking. So like there's just so much to like about Humphreys. Do I buy Mamazelles or do I buy Starling? It's probably Starling just due to the fact that Dodd, the reason he's not in the team is because he's injured. It's not because Humphreys has been picked over him. Injured. Yeah. I mean, look, whatever narrative they have to spin,
surely
Wayne's
just got to spin something. Wayne's the best at this. Like Wayne's the best at just fucking talking shit to get the media off his back. But they paid fucking a mozza for him.
Mm-hmm.
They paid 1 whole year of Jaden Sullivan's wage to get him over from UK.
And they have to admit that they're wrong and that they spent $700K poorly.
And I don't know whether they're going to do that. Utility from Manly that's like doing the job.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what to believe, but like at the end of the day, if they drop Humphreys from the 7, they've got rocks in their head. Regardless of how they go about it, I don't care if you lie about Dodd's injury. I think he needs to stay. I
understand Manly. How do you look at Humphreys and go, you know what? Luke Brooks, we're going to get him. Look, Brooks is fine. Like, if you want to get Brooks in, sure. But how do you look at Lachlan Croker and go, you know what? He's better than Jamie Humphreys.
You don't. And, Rabbitohs win. Simple. By getting him in, Rabbitohs win. Like, he could be a generational halfback, this guy. Like, he is that fucking good.
That's a big call. I'll tell you who's generational for my SuperCoach team.
Who is it?
Lachlan Hubner. What a guy.
Yeah, it's a shame he's not going to make his money for fucking 3 weeks, but
suspended for 2 weeks. But he's him. He's got a lot of fuck you about him. He's a big goer.
Yeah, he is. He just seems like that guy that would cause fights for no reason down sidewalks, I reckon. Like he doesn't muck around.
He seems he's got a couple of screws loose.
When like in your first game for the Rabbitohs, your first game of the season, you're taking on Herbie Farnworth. Like that's what I love to see. And that's what I want to see from my SuperCoach players is a bit of grunt, you know. So big fan of Lachlan Hubner. I've got him in my team at the moment. He's not going anywhere. I'll just hold him.
I'm a big Jai Gray fan after drafting a lot of Latrell Mitchell in multiple drafts.
Yeah, the old handcuff. Hey, that would have played out beautifully for you. So honestly, man, like there's really not much to talk about with the Rabbitohs here. You've got like 4 players above 60. So
Jai Arrow fall back to earth. Keon Kalmatungi is just not it. Like getting back on the edge.
Who wins a fight, Victor Radley or Hubner?
That'd be a good fight, though, I reckon. That'd be an unreal fight.
It would be. It would
George
be a good
Rose on
one.
the line. Moving on to my favorite.
Your boys.
The Cowboys. They suck. And I'm glad you all could finally see it because I got fucking flamed when I said that they were not going to be good this year. Shout out to John Bateman, 51. He went to a better team.
He did go to a better team. So he went from the worst team in the league to the worst team in the league, and I'm super glad that now I can say that with some vindication.
It's impressive because when we won the Spoon, what was it? 3 years ago? 3 years ago,
and 2 years ago and 1 year ago.
3 years ago. When everyone was like, "Well, it can't get any worse next year." Well, it did.
And then the Dolphins came into the comp. Yeah.
To 17th. So
yes.
Shout out to John Bateman. Scotty Drinkwater with a 65. Sure. Tell you what. Some very questionable rookies in this game. Purdue, I hate him. He cost me a Nico Hines try assist.
Yeah, it was a good chase down. Fuck, he's quick.
But I also love him because then he sent himself off. So I'll tell you what. A couple of my followers, mate, own Stone Street, Hines, and Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 47-point play swing.
Yep.
Because of the try saver. But
and
also,
because
the try saver on the try, it was a line break for Nico and a line break for Stone Street. The no try, so there's 17 points, plus the 8-point sin bin. So that difference is like, 30 points plus the line break? It was like a 41-point play. It was ridiculous.
Sell all Cowboys, McGrath reckons, and look, I'm probably leaning towards thinking the same. And I guess the conversation becomes for the Cowboys. It's very simple. What do we do with Purdue and Duffy? Because most of us have him. You don't. You faded Purdue. One of your better calls this year, I reckon. You're in a good spot.
No. The better call's coming next game, and we're spending a lot of fucking time on that one.
Okay, 36 for Purdue. Still claiming cash. Just not as much as we would have hoped. And obviously, I'm very, very concerned he loses his spot next week. If Todd Payton is more than happy to swing the axe on Queensland Origin player Jeremiah Nanai for his defensive lapses, what I saw from Purdue, he might not even play Queensland Cup games the way that he defended in that game.
He's like the heartthrob of Townsville. Everyone loves him, but fuck, Tom Dearden's been ordinary for 2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah, it's the old dummy and go. And, usually when you do something once or twice, teams catch on, But when you do it 15 times in 2 games, you think, I wonder what Tom Dearden's going to do. And he goes to the line and he dummies and tries to run himself. You think, wow, shock horror. I just feel like they're really one-dimensional in attack. I'm
gonna read you out some stats here. So,
okay.
The most dummy passes in this game was 5 by Drinkwater. 4 by Jordan McLean, 4 from Sam McIntyre. Everyone else had 1. Tom Dearden had 7.
Mm-hmm.
He had fucking 2 more than the next. That's insane.
No good.
That's insane. And for Scott Drinkwater had more passes this game than Tom Dearden.
Yeah, Scotty Drinkwater did handle the ball a lot. And he has to because they're fucking terrible. And he's the only guy that can create any attack on this team.
How does he escape criticism? He has a 60% tackle efficiency.
Drinky?
Yeah, so last week I was like, how can you drop Nana? And everyone's like, oh, well, he's shit in defense. And I was like, oh, but he offers so much in attack. So, surely you keep your attacking players out there despite the poor defense. And they're like, no, you got to drop him. And I was like, okay, well, why don't we drop Drinkwater? And they're like, oh, it's not the same. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
sure it's not.
60% tackle efficiency at the back, though. I understand why he doesn't cop as much criticism because when you're at the back, it's your job to stop him, sure. But fuck, how many tackles is he missing to have 60% tackle efficiency? Why does he have to make fucking 10 tackles a game? That's my concern.
I don't know. I think my thoughts on Scott Drinkwater are well known. I think he's very much a flat track bully. I don't know whether
he is anymore. I think 2 years ago, I would have been on your side and I would have agreed with you. But I think the last 2 years he's evolved as a player.
Jareem Bullard today, 6 tackles made, 0 misses.
Mm-hmm.
And
how many line breaks?
6 points. How many did the Eels give up?
I'm just more looking at how many fucking tackles Buller had to make. He had to make 6? So how many tackles would Drinky have to make 1-on-1 at the back? 4
line breaks for the Eels today.
Okay. Oh, for the Eels. Yeah. Okay. I'm also, yeah. So he had to make 6 tackles. 2 were in the line, 4 were off line breaks then.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to know what Drinky has to do at the back. I just feel like Drinky's hard done by because like his defenders in the line aren't doing enough. You know, why does he have to make so many tackles at the back one-on-one?
I think he's exceptional with the ball in hand, but like, I don't know. People
he's a
talk about
halfback.
him. People talk about him
he's
like
5'8".
Yeah, I think he would be a great have Dearden at 7, have Drinky at 6. There's no passes getting to your outside. It's just a lot of dummies and goes. But hey,
a bit. Just add to Tom Dearden's dummy counter.
So just to give you an idea, Tigers gave up 4 line breaks today. There was 10 line breaks for the Sharkies, and Drinky attempted. Oh goodness, how many tackles? 3 made, 2 missed.
Yeah. Okay.
In 10 line breaks. So what do we say?
So where is he? What's he doing for the other 5?
That's what I'm saying. He just never seems to be like in position. I think
he's just poor defensive
tackle
awareness.
Efficiency
Maybe
for a fullback is a weird stat because like I'm sure Gutho has a horrendous tackle efficiency, but it feels like he's always either stopping the play or halting the play up or just being a nuisance. That's just my
better position. Yeah.
Anyway, we spent way too much time talking about Drinkwater's defensive efforts.
Yeah, we did. Let's talk about the Sharks. Stone Street 112, Eero 111.
He's just Ken Irvine.
He is.
He has scored a try.
You put Stone Street on the Rabbitohs team, and he would break the record.
He scores a try every single game. Didn't score one last week. So what do we do this week? We'll just score 2 and just make up for it.
Yep, he did that last year too. He scored 8 tries in 8 games that he played last year.
I want to. How do I change? Can you put it on me?
Yep.
I just want to give an apology to Will Kennedy. I slandered Will Kennedy all in the preseason, and he's been very, very good for like 2 weeks now. So he's been exceptional.
He has been good. Yeah, shout out to him. 78 in this game, 86 for Nico. Look, I feel like the Sharks obviously just did what the Sharks do, and they beat up on bad teams, and that's what they did in this game. And
we love that. You
know what? You take it. Like everybody who claims Nico's the unicorn king and he gets random points and junk points and all that, fucking who cares? Buy him. Like, no, but to be fair though, Nico did get like 20 odd extra points at the end of the game there with a little short ball to the line that scored on the left edge. And if you complain about it, just buy him instead. If you want those junk points, just buy him.
If I am going to talk about Scott Drinkwater being the world's biggest flat track bully, I do have to put my halfback 1 in that conversation as well, because fuck me, he beats up on some shitters. And
to be fair, beating up used to be 185 for Nico.
Oh, yeah, now it's like 80. We're like, oh, yay.
Yeah, and which is sad because obviously Trindle's a big play in this. He 52 this game for Trindle. We even talked about this last week. It was 50 for Trindle and 57 for Nico or something like that last week. Like when you think about like how dominant and how many times that Trindle touches the ball, Nico still outscores him in most of these games. So like Nico's still fine, still a good option, still fine at SuperCoach. He's goal kicking now, which is amazing, which is what you want to see. Is he the slam dunk pick that he used to be over the last 2 to 3 years? No, of course not. Not anymore.
No, it used to be give the ball to Moylan, he'll shovel it on to Nico at second receiver, and then Nico will just fucking cook. Now it's like Trindle's pretty good. He can also do that, and that's what it is. It's like it's not Nico being shit. Like Nico hasn't changed. It's just the man he's playing with is a much, much better football player.
Agreed. Blake Brayley, 63. A little bit of a downgrade for Blake Brayley, unfortunately, with a 63. He finished on like a 72. So I don't know where that went, to be honest. But you'd be happy. Yeah, Blake Brayley. Really good. So a couple of 60s for him to start the year, which is where I projected him at. So happy with that. Otherwise, Nicara scored a try. Had a little anytime try scorer punt on him this week. So that played out actually kind of nice.
I had one on Mr. Teague Wilton. So...
Oh, nice.
I was on fire. I literally got a message from Jaden before, and she was like, I was diabolical. You were on fire. So I was like, yay.
There you go. You get, I'm sure you guys are tracking your results. So I'm sure you got the one up on her this week.
I did.
AFB 46, any cause for concern there, or it's just an AFB game that we know we can go low on?
Welcome to the AFB experience when he doesn't score a try.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, 46 when he doesn't score a try, like I think that's unders. I think like when he doesn't score a try, you're looking at maybe 55 to 60.
Oh yeah, what I'm saying is like don't fucking pencil him in for an 80 every week. He's not.
Oh no, of course. Yeah. No, sorry, he's not Terrell May.
Of course. Last week he got 92 with a 31 point play, so 61.
That's probably where I'd see him at. I had him as my front row forward 4, I think, for the year in the rankings. So
yeah, this game wasn't for him. This was a game for the edges and Kale Hero to cement himself as a better pick than Zach Lomax.
Yeah, fair call. Zach Lomax attacking at centre and defending on the wing. I might have cried. I thought it might have been the other way around, to be honest.
What's happening?
I don't know. We'll talk about him
seriously, Kale Hero, he's a star.
Good.
I think he's like, I think for us as Supercoach players, we sometimes get caught up in these promising rookies that are like, fuck, just play him. And we did this with Hero for like 3 years. Like from 2021 to like 2023, we were like, fuck, just play him. And the Sharks were like, nope, we're going to hold him. And then they played him last year. I've never seen a fucking rookie center average 65. And now he's just a god. 12 tackle busts. That's insane.
Yeah, he's a jet. Every single first contact for him is a missed tackle. Like, it's crazy how strong this guy is. Like, he's like, I reckon, no, I shouldn't say that on live YouTube. He could be one of the, no, I'm going to say it. Fuck it. I reckon he could be stronger than Brian Toto in first contact.
Oh, 100%. I think so too. I think it's a different kind of, I think Toto gets tackle bust because he's so small and he can just drop a shoulder lower than where you're tackling. And he hits you sort of in like the stomach area. Whereas Hero is just like, no, I'm just going to monster you in the contact. Like, I'm just going to put forearms up and just mince you.
Crazy, man. Yeah, those bumpers, man. They knock people around. Let's move on to the Raiders and the Broncos. 32-22 for this one, which Matty's also lucky that we missed that he missed this stream because the Broncos got manhandled by the Raiders with the Viking clap in the background.
Thanks to one fucking man.
Yes. Look, I'll let you talk about him in a sec. Let me talk about Tom Starling. 103. He needs to probably be in most people's trade conversation. The question becomes, hooker 1, 100%. If you have double cheapy hooker, I'm more than happy to burn a trade at hooker 1 and get him as a playable option each week. But what if you have Harry Grant? What if you got Blake Brayley? Are you getting Tom Starling as your hooker too?
If you can do it without ripping your team up, yeah. Like if you can trade out Duffy, but I wouldn't trade out Sandon Smith and I wouldn't trade out Grant or Brayley for it. If you have like a JMK or
what about Sandon? So Sandon Smith obviously down to halfback makes sense for people that have him in hooker too. How much would you like? I'm just trying to think of like bottom dollar. Duffy, would you do a Duffy to a Starling next week?
Yes.
Okay.
So I would do a Duffy to a Starling, but let me look at hookers, right? So
Pakes to Starling. Matthew Sherwood wants to know. I'd do that.
So if I had a JMK, he would be gone. If I had a Cook, he would be gone. If I had a Phoenix Crosland, he would be gone. If I had a Corey Pakes, he would probably stay. If I had an Appy Coruscant, he is absolutely gone.
No goal kicking.
No goal kicking, but also not playing fucking 80. He came off gassed. I watched him today come off gassed whilst Terrell May is just
keep in mind, this guy's like fucking how old? 33, right? Like, and it's 36 degrees in Parramatta in fucking Western Sydney.
Man. I just watched Terrell May just like fucking take
Terrell
6
May
off the set.
Nah, we'll talk about Terrell May soon. Don't you worry. There's about a 40-minute segment, so just keep your
but anyway,
keep your ears peeled.
Would you sell Max Plath?
I think what we saw this week, you're going to see like variations of attacking stats from Max Plath on the edge. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I think that's the floor. That's the floor from Max Plath.
I'll read you the hookers that like scored the top. I don't know, 10 hookers. Wade Egan, I wouldn't sell. Connor Watson, I wouldn't sell. Starling, we're talking about here. Memazelos, I wouldn't sell Memazelos. I wouldn't sell Reid Marnie. I know he sucked last week, but I still wouldn't sell Rat Marnie. I wouldn't sell Sandon Smith. I wouldn't sell Blake Brayley. I'd probably sell Verrills. I wouldn't sell McInnes. I wouldn't sell Plath. Docker Clay, if you own him, then sure. Reece Robson, I'd absolutely sell. Marshall King, I'd sell. Damien Cook, I'd sell. Crosland, I'd sell. Pakes, I wouldn't. Appy, I would sell. And that's the list.
So you would not sell, where is he? Reid Marnie got 78 this week and like 19 last week. Okay. You know what? I probably smell.
19 was historic. Even you could admit, as the biggest Reid Marnie.
Oh, that's definitely way unders. Way unders. If you'd sell Reece Robson, you should sell Reid Marnie. They're a very similar player, I think, in my opinion.
I think Marnie offers fucking more attack and no Burton.
Yeah, a little bit. And Cowboys suck though. But also, like, how are the Bulldogs going to go over the next 4 weeks with no Matt Burton, who's been ruled out for anywhere between 1 to 2 months?
I don't think you sell Marnie now because of. I don't think you sell Marnie because his poor score was round 1. I think you've got the 78 now for another week of price rises. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
But if you have Marnie and you say I'm going to sell him for Starling, like I'm going to be like, sure.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. For the most part, I agree with most. Yeah, with most of them. But honestly, Tom Starling's on my hit list. The problem is, it's going to have to be Duffy to him, Sandon Smith down to halfback too for my team. If you have a few of those other guys, maybe you've just avoided, and you just have to take the loss on not buying Starling. But yeah, he was fantastic in this game. Talk to us about Matty Nicholson, mate. I know you've been sitting here for an hour waiting. So do your thing.
I feel so good, honestly. I like it's like me waking up to watch Warrington Wolves 3 a.m. every Saturday is like worth it now. Because like, you know, when you find a band and they're really unknown and then everyone else gets on them, you're like, oh, I got them. That's me with Matty Nicholson. And honestly, I got some really, really nice DMs this weekend from people being like, oh, I told all my friends to look out for Matty Nicholson because of you, and now they all think I'm a genius. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like, I like that. But like, he's a stud. Like, he's such a brilliant line runner. We said this in the preseason that his try scoring rate's absolutely phenomenal for England, for Wolves. Like, he's just a stud. He played 65 minutes.
65, yeah.
Scored 100. Take out 55 points in tries. Like, he's scoring 55 BP in 65 minutes. Unfortunately for Zach Hosking, it looks like his hand's broken. I don't know how long that recovery is. I think Stretch did it in the preseason, so it was like 4 weeks for Stretch.
4 to 6 weeks. Yeah.
So, and we know that Zach Hoskins had his injury concerns, but I think Matty Nicholson just like won the spot. I mean, look,
he started there. Like, he came straight into the team. Clearly, he missed the team in round 1 because it was some sort of undiagnosed injury.
He had like really bad icing on his knee in the post game. I don't know if that was the reason, but can we give a shout out to old mate in our comments on Wednesday? Do you know his name?
No, who are we talking about?
The guy that said that the Hosking would start.
Oh, yes, the Hosking would start at lock. Yeah, so that wasn't in the live chat. That was actually a comment after the live happened.
Yeah. What a guy! Shout out to him.
Yeah, very good. Hopped in the chat.
Someone commented. For anyone that doesn't know, some guy commented on our Wednesday show after delay, and said, "Oh, I've got some mail that Hosking will play lock and Nicholson will play edge, and your boy loaded up on anytime try score at $9 for Matty Nicholson." And shout out to him. I owe him a beer because he made me a lot of money, which was unreal.
Yeah, I'll try and find out who it was so I can credit him for it. But that was a good chat.
Honestly, I guess I'm biased, but what did you think of him?
Oh, he looked $1 million. He looked really good. Like, obviously hits a line really well as well, which is what you want for an edge back rower. But Damien Kearns was the man that did the shout out. Hosking playing lock this week, boys, so make of that what you will. And I said, have you got a source? And he said, his dad is my source. I was like, that's great. That's as close to the player as you're going to get. We did see obviously Nicholson move into the 13 technically in the starting lineup, but then they swapped. Yeah. So very good. I mean, Hosking looked fantastic as well. 64 for him. At lock, made 40-odd tackles. It's just a shame that now he's going to miss some time. So, here's a trade out next week, unfortunately, for anybody who took a punt. We going
early on Matty N? Or are we waiting? I think with Ricky, you got to wait.
Yeah. Look, sadly, I think you just have to wait on anybody from Canberra.
Are you surprised if Simi Sasagi's named to start next week? No.
Look, I'm fucking surprised because it's just a dumb moron coaching move. But, like, for the same token, I think you just have to wait on anyone that Ricky Stewart coaches, sadly. But
also like it gives you another look. Like we'll talk about the Tigers, but people are off safe path. I don't really understand why, but like if Preston's still not impressing, pun intended, we can, go to Matty N at the end of next week. Yeah, don't mind it. Absolutely. Savelio Tamale, 60. He is an absolute must-have next week if he holds his spot. That's and again, it's a Ricky Stewart Raiders question. I don't think you can play him though. Like,
yeah, but how much cash? He's going to make a monster amount of cash.
You buy him, but I'm not playing him with confidence. I played Nath White over him this week, and I got punished by 4 points. But he scored 60 with 2 tackle busts, a try and a line break. So that's a 31-point play. Yeah, but that's fine. Like, I'm buying him because he can find attacking stats. He was lining up against Dean Mariner's edge this week. Playing him. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not confidently playing him. I was going to play him this week, and I got talked out of it, and I ended up 4 points behind. But again, it doesn't matter. But at the same token, I'm comfortable playing him. Hang on. So like you just said that he got tackle bus. If you have everyone in your team available, you're picking Tamale. Oh, no, of course not. Okay, but I mean, we've got players on the bye every week. That's what I was referring. No. I'll play him on a bye, but I'm not like lining up with him to be my center wing 4.
No.
Sorry.
Completely agree. But in saying that, this week, obviously, I was going to play him and just play five centre wings. I was going to have Skelton as my fifth reserve. Who do I prefer out of Tamale and Arthur's? I think Arthur's job security is better. So I think that's probably where you have to go with that. He's a target for me next week.
Arthur's will also make more money. And I'd play him more. But yeah, I'm very thankful I've got Tamale. But if I had to go out and buy one of them, it's probably Arthur's.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. He's on the hit list for me this week as well. Let's talk.
Matty Sherwood makes a good point. Savage was a 2-week suspension, so we should get at least one price rise.
We sure? I swear Savage was 1 week.
No. Tarpany was 2 weeks and Savage was 1. Yeah, I believe so.
Tarpany's 2, Savage 1. So he'll be back. We'll get a proper look at their full strength backline this week. So that'll determine whether we buy him or not.
And just quickly, just while we're doing a couple of Q&As, Samuel Eve says, what do we do with Hosking? Sell.
So yeah, buy it.
Yeah.
Payne Haas 99, mate. Fucking beast. Absolute beast.
Every year I'm like, fuck, I'm not getting Payne Haas. I'll wait for him to come down in price. And every fucking year he does this. This is in the middle of Ramadan, by the way. Like, this is insane. He's just.
Did I miss something? Tamale suspended 2 weeks?
No, I didn't say that. No.
I've heard nothing about Tamale. I
saw the judiciary report. Nothing had Tamale in there.
Okay, sorry. Back to Haas. He's a gun. He's a weapon. Like, what do? Do you have to? Do you go Hopgood to him next week? Considering Hopgood's just been mid.
I just want to, like, for people that don't know me, I sort of grew up in the country. I haven't really watched much live footy in my life. Like, it's been a lot of TV footy. I watched Terrell May for the first time today, and that gave me so much, like, immense respect for Payne Haas, because I still think Haas is miles clear of Terrell, and Terrell's fucking elite. And I was like, Haas does this week in, week out. He's done it for 6 years. This is insane. And this is in the middle of Ramadan as well. Like, he's not eating, he's not drinking. This is cooked.
And he left training early, but everyone panicked. It was just because it's, he's obviously doesn't have any calories in his body all day.
Much during Ramadan. Do you think that's like? I honestly think he wouldn't train much during like this.
Nah, he wouldn't have to. Why do you need Payne Haas to train? Like, the guy's nearly the best front row forward in the game. Probably the best front row forward in the game. Do you buy him next week? Or are we looking at Tino maybe? I mean, look, Tino, you can wait till round 4. So that's completely fine. But fucking Payne Haas is going to be hard to look past.
Yeah, I looked at the judiciary report. The only issues from the Broncos game was Corey Pakes got hit with a first offense dangerous throw, $1,000 fine, and Kobe Hetherington crush a tackle, 2 matches, or if he's guilty, it's $3,000. So yeah, Tamale's fine.
Right. Yeah, cool. Okay. Look, I'm very tempted. Matrix called him a buy this week. Definitely a buy any week. I think if you can try and get Payne Haas in before he makes a lot of cash, I would probably do that.
Points. I didn't even look at like the makeup of his points. Like, so he's got 7 offloads. Fucking hell, 7 offloads, 7 tackle busts,
35 tackles, 7 tackle busts, 12 offloads, 12.
No,
6 effective offloads,
and then one regular.
26 in runs. Yeah, look, you just have to get him, I think. And it's the offloads for me that are the big kicker. Like, we haven't seen them much in previous years, but Madge has clearly told him, go out and fucking throw the ball around.
Mate,
so,
it's unreal.
You got Deadly spraying you in the chat here too.
Yeah, because to be fair, I was spraying Deadly in the AFL chat because he is a fraud. Telling me to pick Sam Powell-Pepper and fading Bailey Smith. So shout out Deadly, you absolute cat. And telling me to captain Lockie Neal for 41. You absolute cat. Anyway, we'll talk about this in the DMs afterwards, James, that as your government name does suggest. Anyway, it's Payne Haas. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at Tino. I don't know. Like, this was a 99 in. Was there any attack here? Nah, this is 99 BP. This is fucking insane.
Just get him. Just buy him.
In 57 minutes. Bro.
He doesn't need more than 50 minutes this year. Like, the way that they're using him, he's just on fire.
He's just
absolutely on fire. Jesse Arthurs also, you can probably buy him 96. The ball is going his way. And we saw that, he's going to get good ball. Regardless of whether Reece Walsh can't throw a pass to a player or not.
No, Ben Hunt will make sure you get ball. Ben Hunt will. System player Ben Hunt, as we've heard.
Agreed. Completely agreed. And look, I'm happy to admit I was wrong on Jesse Arthurs. Mid in every single year pre-season past, Ben Hunt makes a difference.
I know that you hate him, and he's a shit SuperCoach player, but he's got a -86 break even.
I don't hate him at all. It's more a matter of I just looked at previous seasons and go, how can someone go from a 36 season average to a fucking 90 season average, even at 65? You know, how can they be that good? How can they be double as good over one season?
Maybe people will realize that Ben Hunt's actually pretty fucking good at football.
Well, Jaden Sewer fucking had a career year last year, didn't he? So, you know, if that tells you anything, maybe.
But yeah, not even. Look, a poor game, but even a minus 45 BE for a Japanese rugby's finest. So I still think he's a good buy. I don't think the other Broncos cheapie is a good buy. So Dimitri might live to see another week purely down to the fact that I think the jet ski's broken.
The jet ski, yeah, it's got no go about it now. It's done. It's I've got him sadly. Look, hopefully we get another good score out of him and it keeps his cash gen going and just a little bit.
Starts next week.
Brendan Piakura breathing down his neck now. Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, mate, not really much else to talk about. We've still got 2 games to go.
No. We have a certain pretty-eyed fullback to talk about.
Do we need to? But everyone knows that he's shit the bed. Like what?
I didn't watch this game. What the fuck happened?
Let me tell you what happened. Every single time he touched the ball, something went wrong. I feel like every time he touched it,
he got a line break assist and scored 9 points.
He passed the ball to the ground about 4 times. He passed a couple of hospital passes that were just nearly impossible to take. And then he had a couple of drop balls as well himself.
Oh, boy.
Like nothing went right for Reece Walsh.
Looking at the negatives here, 3 missed tackles, 1 penalty conceded, 4 errors, 1 kick dead, -3, -8, so that's -11, -2, so that's -13, -16 points for Reece Walsh, 9 points with a line break assist, which is worth 8. Shout out to Reece Walsh.
So that's like a send-off in negatives.
That's cooked.
So nothing went right for him. It was just a tough watch.
He'll score 130 next week as well. Like nothing ever happened.
Guaranteed. And we know the quality of player that he is. We're not shitting on him. Like he's a world-class fullback. But in saying that, I think if you have him, all right, here's your question. If you have him, do you sell him? Are you bailing now just because he's going to lose money, or are you confident that he just makes that back over the next 3 weeks?
Oh, fuck no. I think you write it out, especially if you have Turbo.
We talked about round 4 and 5 being really nice matchups for Reece Walsh as well on the rotation at fullback. So I think you just have to hold and then reassess in round 6 what you want to do with him. You made your bed now, I think, with him. And also, Iongi didn't exactly light the world on fire either. So if you're a 3 fullback person, you're going to hold Turbo potentially and you're just going to ride that wave. I'd probably just tend to lean into holding all 3 and just bank the points. But if Iongi scored 60 today, we'd be having a very different conversation.
Yeah, I think if you don't have Iongi, you can just wait now because the good score from last week will roll out and now you're faced with like a 25, which is what he's priced at. So if he kills it next week, then yeah, you pay like 60, 70K more and like you get him, and that's fine. But yeah, Walsh has got a pretty good run for the next couple of weeks. So he's a guy that, I put the hot take out. Like if you don't look at break evens and look at like pure point scoring, I still think he's the best trade in for Turbo.
I mean, look, we looked at last year. There's a lot of players that had really big break evens.
Also, people. I don't know if you saw this, but Walsh got -2 in fantasy.
Yeah, I think it was even worse in Dream Team, from memory, because I bought him in Dream Team. That's the only format that I have him in. I didn't buy him, but I have him in Dream Team. I started with him. I think he might have got -5 in that.
That's actually crazy.
He got -2 in Dream Team as well. He dropped out. He was my lowest score. So yeah, shout out to Reece Walsh. Let's move on to the best game of the week. The Tigers 32 beat the Eels 6. Strap in, everyone, because we're about to talk for 45 minutes.
Before we glaze the Tigers, I've never been to Combank Stadium. What a fucking place! That stadium, elite. I was in general admission. Unreal. Seats go so high up, you can see the whole thing. You can see the shape. I'm blind. Everyone that follows me knows that I can't see out of one of my eyes. Like I can see everything, man. It's such a good stadium. I didn't have to wait 48 minutes for beer like you and I did at Campbelltown last week. Like there's food everywhere. There's beers everywhere. Campbelltown Stadium. No, it's Campbelltown Stadium. Combank Stadium.
Combank, good place.
Elite stadium.
Very good place. Even better place because we won. So
when we were singing na goodbye to all the Para fans walking out at the 60th minute mark,
that's elite.
It was a good time.
Good.
It was a good
and
time.
you know what? We don't get these moments much. Ever. We don't get them ever. So just let us enjoy it.
Oh, God.
Holy fuck. All right, Josh is falling over. He's that excited. Taruva 112, Galvin 105, Buller 105, all were elite. And you know what? I don't even need to talk about any of them because Terrell May is the one to talk about here. He was Terminator-like.
Oh,
Like
mate.
61 minutes straight
In the
36
40,000
degree heat.
on the sun.
Like, I think he had fucking 15 runs, 30 odd tackles. Like, it was just insane. And you look at him, and he could have gone out on the circuit tonight. No sweat, zero sweat. It was just fucking wild. The guy is not human.
I don't understand though, because I've seen him with his top on, and he doesn't have a good rig, but it just shows like he just must have like the lowest resting heart rate of all time. It's not like he's not like he's a big boy with a good rig. Like he's pretty sloppy, but fuck man, like his motor is unreal. I think
very good at Call of Duty too.
Yeah, so I think you did him a disservice on the tackle count. I think it was a lot more than mid-30s. Defense 43, one miss.
It might have been 30s at halftime, to be honest.
43 tackles,
40, yeah,
one miss in playing on the actual sun.
And you know what is underrated is the fact that he only had 30 points in runs. Like usually he runs the ball a lot more and finds a lot more attack. He had one line break. He had he had 3 ineffective offloads. They'll all upgrade, so you can probably expect another 6 points in updates from him. But yeah, fuck, absolute animal.
Do you want to know what it didn't look like? It didn't look like a guy that didn't love footy.
yeah. I think that narrative's dead, to be fair. But good.
How
good
good
to
is
see.
he?
Good to see him play.
Honestly,
yeah.
Is this what Matrix feels like every Friday night watching Haas?
Probably.
Mate,
and Carrigan.
He is. We have Carrigan. We have Fanua Bolle. That's our Carrigan.
He was a bit frustrating tonight, to be honest.
Yeah,
Twile. You know what? Twile was fine. I mean, look, Fanua Bolle scored 62, so I can't critique him too much. But a couple of really bad knock-ons.
Like we can't sit here and say how fucking good Terrell May was playing 64 minutes. Fanua Bolle played 57. Like he was still played.
Oh no, for sure, 100%. He was good.
What do you think of Appy? Obviously, Tigers fans here, like a 58-22 minute split. I don't mind it. I don't mind getting Talon on 10 minutes either side of halftime and just fucking running right.
Yeah. No, I'm not buying Appy this year because he's not goal kicking, so that doesn't bother me in the slightest. But as a Tigers fan and a football fan, I think it's probably good for the Tigers that he has a bit of a breather and comes back on because he was completely fucking cooked after his first spell.
I'm worried about Royce Hunt's recovery. 31 minutes, mate. He might be fucking on ice for the next 6 days. He might be gassed.
Could be.
That's like an 8-minute game for him.
Yeah, it could be.
Sure. Obviously, the big concern for Tigers fans is 76 minutes played for Jermaine Buller. Hobbled off. I'm really hoping it's just like an ankle roll or something because I love Heath Mason, but he wasn't good last week. And he's not Jermaine.
Nah. Mate, I think Buller will be fine.
He skipped out, beat fucking 3 or 4, then, mate, electric.
He looked elite tonight. And look, I think he'll be okay. I think it's probably precautionary because we're up so far. So I'm just hoping he'll be all right. But Staffatoa, 64, 280K. He'll be a conversation we're having around 4. You can wait until then. Obviously, we want to make sure that he puts that up again or has some decent cash gen next week. But Adam Dewey owners would be pretty happy with the 67 as well. Goal kicking looks really good. And you know what? All of his touches look dangerous on the left edge. Every single time he had the ball, he looked good. And obviously, he got that try assist where he put the kick in across field as well with the ball line break off the reset. Like, he obviously could have had a line break in that scenario, except it was broken play from a kick return. So, yeah, lots to like out of Dewey and a guy
can
that
kick a ball. For sure. Can kick a ball.
Very good goal kicker. Absolutely.
Oh, Gerard's gotten such a cock tease.
He could have had another try, and that could have been 90.
Fuck.
Like it was like a bee's dick away from scoring as well. So
no line.
I thought he grounded that personally.
Same. No, but it's inconclusive evidence. No line break. So just the try. So 63 with the try and the line break assist. So that's 24 points. So that's still like 40 BP, which is pretty handy. Yeah, he's great. 1 offload, 5 tackle busts. Like that's just what we're gonna get every week. 21 hit ups. Like him.
Solid. Seyfarth 52. Probably more so what we expected from him.
Oh, sorry. And Sonny Taruva. How good was he?
Oh, yeah, gun. 3. I mean, obviously, he's not going to score a hat trick every week, and I'm probably not going to buy him. But, yeah, quality. Exactly what we bought him for.
Alex Seyfarth. I do not understand this, like, discourse. He played 80 minutes in 4,000-degree heat and scored
52 in base.
52 in BP.
Yeah. I'm not going to sell him. He's staying in my team.
hey, I'm fine with that. That's
Yeah.
the norm. That's what we bought for. Like last week was the anomaly. 52 BP is the norm. Like that's what we expect from him. There was a couple of times where he ran really good lines as decoys, and there's other times where he's going to get given those balls and he'll fall over. I'm selling Hopgood. I'm selling Preston before I'm selling fucking Seyfarth.
100%. I agree. I'm with you on that. Yeah, we're obviously over-invested in Tigers players in our Supercoach team, sadly. So there's a lot to talk about. But yes, they do play the Dolphins next week.
If Lachlan Calvin's worried about the Tigers' future and he's going to go to the Eels to have a better future, then fuck. Good luck to you, buddy. Please don't leave. I love you.
Yeah, stay pleased. Eels, mate.
Sorry, he had a really good bounce back. He played awful last week, and 105 this week. Is the Lockie Govan dream still on?
Yeah, I think so.
Can we talk about Luai? People are concerned.
I would be. I think it's just going to be taking some time to get used to the system. And do I sell him if I have him? Yeah, probably, because he's going to leak a ton of cash. I think there's better options at 5'8". Honestly, I'd even fucking do Luai to just Dwayhe. Shout out to Corey A in the chat, who always pulls me up on the fact I call him Dewey and it's supposed to be Dwayhe. Even though his old man wants him to call it, he wants it to be Dewey.
He came out and said he wants to be Dewey.
So we've got a subscriber in our Patreon that actually has the same last name, and culturally you're supposed to pronounce it Dwayhe. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it, but the dad pronounces it Dewey. So
just English. It's like Papali or Papali. I think it's just like what you go with.
Yeah, because Joash Papali or something like that wants to be called Papali.
But Josh wants to be Papali. And there's Isaiah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep referring to him as Dewey, as per his old man.
I might call him Adam D.
Adam D. Big Dick D.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a bit of porn star energy about Adam D, isn't there?
He was great. I'm really happy, and I'm also happy that we pulled out of the Taylor May sweepstakes. So love that.
Yes, that's a very big win for
let's
women
talk about
involved in rugby league.
The bottom feeding club. Also, bad day to be a host at CommBank this weekend.
Look, let's talk about Jermaine Hopgood. He is the one that I'm frustrated with the most. 46. There was about 25 or 20 to 22 minutes where he didn't spend time on the field. Like, I don't know what Jason Riles is doing with this rotation, but you cannot have Hopgood off for more than 10 minutes. You just can't.
Played 64 this week, 43 tackles. It's like, I'm probably going to sell him, but not due to like him. It's not his fault. His team's so bad.
Oh, no, 100%. But again, we're looking at the Cowboys as well, and it's not the players. Like, they're just not a good team this year. And it's the same with the Eels, unfortunately. Again, it's like I paid for a 70. I want a 70, and I'm not going to be happy with a 46, and that's not Hopgood's fault. He's a gun. But yeah, I just don't know whether they're the genuine attack and the base is there for him this year, if they're going to be standing on the posts a fair bit. So concerns.
I'm really, really keen to buy your mate in about 7 weeks' time when he's bottomed out and Moses is back.
My mate?
Yeah, your Jess just loving mate.
Oh, be old Lomo. Yeah, get him in.
Exactly low. I'm keen to buy him in like 2 months' time. Hey,
it's a bit of Zach Slomax at the moment. Sadly, but
he needs his mate Moses back.
Yeah, he does. He needs a matchup with Tommy Talau back for the Jess Surges sweepstakes. That's what he needs. Just a little bit of motivation to get him going. But
I mean, he was good, mate. 24 hit ups for him. Like that was a team high, probably a game high as well. 5 tackle busts, 5 offloads, a goal, a line break assist. Like when Moses is back, I'm actually pretty keen. Wheels up on Zacchiel.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd love to see him attacking it on the wing rather than attacking at center and defending on the wing. But look, I think he's still fine, and he's the best player on this team at the moment. So yeah,
what do you mean? You're not happy with Brendan Hands playing 25 minutes?
Look, Riley Smith with the 35 in 55 is the better option, sadly, which is just bizarre. So
what's going on with the Joe O rotation? He's played 60 minutes combined in 2 weeks.
I don't get it. I thought he was going to play 60 minutes a week, to be honest.
I thought he was going to get the RCG role of 55 minutes, and he's going to be a gun.
Nope, apparently not. Apparently Jason Riles doesn't rate him.
Jack Williams, 54 BP.
Sure, fine. It's still the Eels. It's like buying John Bateman at the Cowboys.
It's so funny. People will go, oh, Jack Williams, 54 in BP. That's pretty good. Priced at 455. And then you look at fucking our mate, our Ranger mate, who's priced at 440. and gets 2 points less, and it's like, oh, he's a bum. Absolute disgrace.
Fresh Pence, what's going on with the Kelmer rotation? He's rotated straight out of the team, mate. So
he's not even in Q, not even in like fucking New South Wales Cup. Just he's a bum.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, no good. Anyway, Isaiah Yongi, 21. Look, he looked okay. He got his hands on the ball, but a few errors, a few things that you would naturally see from a rookie fullback finding his way in the NRL. And I think we just need to probably temper our expectations somewhat on him. He did find junk last week as well. So imagine the conversation we're going to be having about Isaiah Yongi if he didn't get that last minute try at the end of the last game and he went 28 and 21.
It might be a case of me, for the first time ever, having one playable fullback.
Could be.
The one fullback draft will live on next week, by the way.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, actually, yeah, it will.
It will.
Yeah. But anyway, look, I think, do you buy Iongi? I don't think you necessarily need to now. No. I think if he went and scored well in this game, you had to get him. But no, I think you can hold off a little bit now on Iongi. But mate, let's move on to the last one. Hey, Bulldogs Titans. I missed the first 20 minutes of this game, but I turned it on. And basically, I hopped in the WhatsApp and I said, guys, can someone give me an 18-minute summary of what's happened in this game? And they said, Bulldogs good, Titans shit. And that was pretty much the most accurate summary I got. And we obviously saw Matt Burton go down injured. So I guess that's a big talking point considering he's very well owned. 47 in like 30-odd minutes as well, which is good for owners in a way that you don't get bailed. You don't end up stuck with a shit score, but you're going to have to probably trade him out now because it is a confirmed MCL injury for Matt Burton. So that's anywhere from 1 to 2 months as per NRL physio.
Same with Bill Kicks as well. So that left side's just down the toilet.
Cooked. Yep, which is probably wheels up Preston. Maybe we're going to see more ball down the right.
I was going to filter into that. I think we hold Presto.
I think so as well. Kick out 75 as well. So again, great. But look, am I buying any of the Bulldogs? I mean, Connor Tracy scored 64 with a try and a line break. Sure, great. But I mean, he's been okay and probably one of the best of them. But I don't know whether I go out of my way to buy him at the price. That's probably what he's priced at.
You're just a Connor Tracy hater.
You're off that's me.
You're off him now.
Yes. No. I'm happy to admit my mistakes, which is why I will buy Jesse Arthurs next week, I'd say.
Presto 58. So what's that? 41 BP. Not amazing, but it's what I said with RTS. It's like, hey, not all 60s are created equal, but we want to see more, ideally. I
mean, look, we saw enough from last week, to be fair, for Preston. I think, we said last week from a justification perspective, we were like, yeah, he was fine because all of it was BP. Again, we're kind of talking the same, but we take the BP out, it's the same BP of like 40 to 45. So when the attack is there, he's going to score 60 to 70, but I didn't really buy him for the 60 to 70. I bought him because he can get 80 to 100. I just need to see that. And I haven't yet.
It'll come. Like people need to understand that a 70 average is not 70 every week. It's most likely going to be 40, 40, 110, 90, 40, 40, 70.
I'm not trading him for the record. He can stay in my team. He's fine.
Maybe if Matty Nicholson fucking scores 7 tries next week, then we'll have a serious conversation. But there's other ways I'm going to get my English. I mean, I could just go English to English, couldn't I? I could just go dark, handsome English boy to white, pale English, handsome boy.
Yes, considering dark, handsome English boy won't play some football for a good fortnight. So he's got a 2-match suspension and they've got a buy in there. So he won't play until round 6.
He had one job to survive 3 fucking weeks. Couldn't even do that. Couldn't even do it. Stuff. Titans, mate. There's a bit to talk about with the Titans. Tino, probably as close to a must-buy in round 4 as possible. Like all I needed to see were the minutes. No, he is a must-buy in round 4. The question is he a must-buy next week? That's the question.
I mean, 155 minutes. I needed to see more than 45 minutes, and I was happy to buy him. I was just worried that he may have been eased into his role, but I think maybe that extra week of preseason, having the buy in round 1 helped him.
7 tackle busts, 2 offloads, 15 hit-ups, 35 tackles.
He's a weapon.
65 BP. Thanks for coming.
And we knew this. Look, we know how good he is. I think it was more just the caution of coming off the injury.
It's
so
painful.
For me, I've seen enough.
It's painful because like people that started with him would have played Toya, would have played Tamale, would have played some other shitter last week that scored well. and then they just fucking roll into a Tino 100. Like, he's that guy, man. Like, he's so good. If Deadly's in the chat, Tino and Bailey Smith, for anyone that follows AFL, did an ACL very similar time. Bailey Smith came back, had 35 touches, and was fucking best on ground. Tino comes back. Like, it just shows you that medicine these days, like sports science medication, especially with ACLs, and you give players time, like, they're going to come back unreal. Like, and Tino always said he was never worried about coming back from the ACL. He was worried about how fucking tired he's going to be and how unfit he is. But he hasn't missed a beat. Like, he is unreal.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a guy that you're going to want to have in your team. It's a matter of next week or the week after, really.
But like this rotation really helped him. Like 40 minutes for Regan Campbell-Gillard, 35 minutes for Chris Randall, 32 minutes for David Fafita, 28 minutes for Jolliffe, and 14 minutes for Brock Gray. Shout out to Brock Gray. 28-year-old making his debut. Shout out.
Yeah, look, I mean,
his brother, I'm pretty sure. I think they said on commentary.
Oh, cool. Did not know that. But yeah, look, great. 55 minutes is going to be Tino's expectation moving forward anyway, I would have thought. He's too good to be playing less. And if he can my only concern was if he was going to get through it, like match fitness-wise rather than coach's choice.
Are we just going to end up with a front row 4 of Haas, May, Tino, Corey Horsburgh?
Yeah, probably. And just play them all every week. No dramas.
Front row 4 is back. It is 2012 all over again, baby. The middles are back in fashion.
I'm here for it for sure. Oh no, just play Corey Horsburgh at 2RF because the rest of my 2RFs are fucking shot. Hopgood, Preston, Hosking. One's got a broken hand.
At the last minute, I was like, you know what? I'm going to beef up my 2RF. I can't survive with fucking
it's the same thing.
Connor Watson as my 2RF one. Man, I wish I just fucking did.
Yeah. Shit. David Fafita going to leak a fuckload of cash, and that is awesome because we could get like sub 600k Fafita.
Remember the last time that we got sub 600k Fafita and I made a very stupid comment on this podcast and said, I couldn't fucking touch him if he was 400k. I think he averaged about 100 for the next 6 weeks.
He did. And I think I bought him around that point. He was, and for the most part, everyone bought him around that point because you can't not get him at that price.
People are out of the know, and like people that, you know, are either casual fans or just don't live and breathe fucking preseason training like you and I do, wouldn't remember that Fafita's had a very limited preseason. He isn't fit. And he's probably going to have to come off the bench for a couple of weeks. So good for us, but yeah, probably don't abuse Fafita for being fucking quote unquote lazy or whatever. Like, he's just not fit.
That's not even his fault. He's just coming back from an injury that he's needed to take time back from. So no concern. Great for SuperCoach. Do not panic. Just let him lose money, and then we'll pick him up when he's bottomed out, and everybody wins in that scenario. I think you just don't buy him at all until you see him start, which is what we want. So but Bulldogs 40 ended up beating the Titans. They had a little bit of a late comeback, though, the Titans. I don't know whether I feel great about the Bulldogs for the next 4 weeks without Matt Burton and Kickout.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
probably still would have beaten the Titans.
They did this last week, though, didn't they? Like, they fucking put the Dragons to the sword and then just said, no, you know what, we're done. Pretty
much. Yeah, they just shut up shop. I
guess for anyone, when I heard the Tino news, I was very much strongly looking at Keanu Keeney. I can't go there.
Well, he ended up with 60. He got a late try. Late
line break.
Yeah. Look, there's going to be some conversation we'll have on Wednesday or Tuesday for the Patreon Q&A. I'd say we're going to get a fair few questions on what to do with Turbo. So we'll give you our suggestions there. And
there is a real chance that you don't trade him to a fullback.
Could be a Nico trade. It could be honestly, you could do anything with it really if he's at flex. Yeah. Imagine all the chat that we were having about 3 fullbacks all preseason.
In 2 rounds, it's Kalen Ponga, Isaiah Yongi, and fucking Payne Haas.
Yeah, it's Payne Haas, Tino, Faisal Malawi, and fucking I don't know who else. It could be anybody.
Year of the middle.
Tom Starling in my flex.
It's year of the Robbie Farah, Anthony LaFranchi, and Cameron Smith.
Yeah,
and Paul Gallen.
Yeah, that was back when you had your hookers in your front row. That was fucking awesome. But bring that back, SuperCoach.
It was Robbie Farah, Cam Smith, and fucking Sam Burgess. Set and forget.
Yeah, pretty much. Guys, I think that pretty much wraps us up for round 2 anyway. We've obviously got a couple of podcasts coming throughout the week as well. So we'll bring you Tuesday. We've got the Patreon Q&A. If you want to get involved in that and you want to get your questions answered, it is an exclusive live podcast. So you can jump on that. You get access to the link, ask us any questions in the live chat. That then goes out to the public afterwards. So it's the only way we're answering questions this year. So if you want to jump in, get your questions answered, the link is in the description below to become a subscriber. It's only less than $10 a month. So get involved there. And don't play through Apple. If you're going to go and become a subscriber, do not pay through Apple. Go on your PC and sign up there. It'll save you like $5 a month because they love taking 30% of everything. So go and do that. Otherwise, guys, hit subscribe and like. We appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. We've got over 300 on the live right now. We appreciate you every week. We'll be back on Tuesday to answer Patreon questions. Wednesday for the free live. We'll see you then. Catch you later.